Nice to meet you.
One of the issues that Jasper has had with his autism is that he speaks with a monotone, robotic-like voice. Unlike neurotypicals, who speak with a natural rise and fall that conveys feelings, whenever Jasper speaks, his voice sounds flat, unchanging, and dull, staying on a single pitch or within a very narrow range. His speech lacks the dynamic inflections that others use. Sadly, this has caused his teachers and classmates to misinterpret his emotions and intentions. For example, when he wished Bethany a happy birthday, the lack of enthusiasm or care in his voice made it sound as though he was completely indifferent about her special day. At home, when his father asked him to take out the trash, Jasper said, "Okay." His father's face flushed with anger. "Don't you take that tone of voice with me," he snapped. "This is my house, and you will follow my rules and expectations." In English literature, after his teacher gave the class a book report assignment, Jasper enthusiastically threw himself into this homework project. Since he loved science fiction, he gave a presentation on one of his favorite books, Andre Norton's The Zero Stone. Unfortunately, Jasper's flat voice made the other students think that he was bored. In a private talk after class, the teacher complained that Jasper could at least have pretended to have been interested in this assignment. In culinary arts, when Jasper made a joke and asked his group what made a fake pasta, nobody answered. He finally said, "An impasta." Nobody laughed. His flat delivery and the lack of any intonation confused his classmates who hadn't understood that he had been telling a joke. In algebra, after Bob was the only student to make a perfect A, Jasper congratulated him. The lack of any inflection made Bob think that Jasper was being sarcastic. "It's not my fault that you only earned an A-, huffed Bob. At school, the other kids noticed. They began calling him Robot Boy. On Halloween, one of his classmates came to school dressed as a robot. Everyone laughed. One person shouted, "Look, it's Jasper." As the years passed, Jasper became a person of increasingly few words. For Jasper, words were dangerous. Words were misunderstood. Words could result in others having hurt feelings or anger.
As Jasper's friend, I suggested that he augment his presentations with PowerPoint. After thinking about this, Jasper adopted his suggestion for his next book report. Since he was a fantasy game player, he decided to do a report about the first book in Tolkien's Lords of the Ring trilogy, The Fellowship of the Ring. This was a mammoth undertaking because the Del Rey edition that he had was 480 pages long. Jasper spent a lot of time working on his book report. He started by summarizing the book using pencil and paper. He found video clips to download from YouTube. He then used Power Director to edit and sequence his presentation. With his teacher's permission, he recorded his voice to narrate the video. By doing this, he was able to record and re-record his voice until he felt that he had the best-sounding version of himself. Since he couldn't inflect his voice, he used music in the background to highlight stirring and dramatic events. When it came time for his presentation, his video made the book come alive. The video talked about how the elves had created rings of power and how the Dark Lord, Sauron, had secretly forged one ring to rule them all. He talked about how Sauron's ring was lost at the end of the Second Age after the ring was cut from the Dark Lord's finger during the epic final battle between the forces of good and evil. Although Sauron lived on, his power was considerably diminished from the loss of his ring. For nearly 3,000 years, Sauron looked for his ring using his flaming eye that was situated at the highest pinnacle of his fortress, Barad-dûr, in the land of Mordor. He then talked about how at the start of the Third Age, the wizard, Gandalf, had journeyed to Bag's End in search of Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit. The students and their teacher were absolutely fascinated. The use of animated clips and still shot drawings conveyed Jasper's creativity and passion in a way that his voice had not. When the presentation was over, the students clapped and cheered. Jasper's heart swelled with pride as he realized that his classmates had finally heard and understood what he had wanted to say. After class, Gavin, the president of the school's videographer club, invited Jasper to join a group of like-minded students who shared their inner thoughts and visions through film. Participation in this group allowed Jasper to expand his social horizons, sharing his interest in video production and editing with people who liked and respected him.
People with autism may speak in a monotone due to differences in prosody, which is vocal melody and rhythm that is part of speech. This makes it hard to naturally vary pitch and stress. This lack of intonation can sometimes be misinterpreted as a lack of emotion. What many people don't realize is that with autism, prosody is a communication difference, not a deficit. To help improve speech, speech therapy and music therapy can teach pitch recognition and modulation. While at home, neurodivergent individuals may use YouTube to listen to people speaking with varied accents. They may record their own speech, practicing with short, clear phrases to help with building better speech intonation skills.
Do you speak in a monotone? If so, how has this affected your life? Share your experiences in the comments.
Goodbye. I look forward to our next visit.